This man here is being accused of stealing $100 million of investor money via a Ponzi scheme from run-of-the-mill investors for over $100 million. And somehow they pulled this off with a trucking company. Also, Florida trucking company owner accused in $100 million Ponzi scheme. So a Florida man faces multiple federal charges after allegedly operating a $100 million Ponzi scheme through his over-the-road trucking company, Royal Bengal Logistics. So according to the DOJ, in the beginning of 2020, Sine and his co-conspirators held RBL out to potential investors as a thriving and successful trucking business, all while RBL's trucking business actually lost money. In the process, Sine and his co-conspirators made material misrepresentations and material omissions about the riskiness of investing in RBL. So I want to touch on this because a lot of what happens in these Ponzi schemes is that they're able to just make up the financials, send it to their accountant, get audited financials. It's not up to the accountant to know whether it's true or not. It's just up to the accountant to do what he can do with the numbers that he has. Basically, these companies just keep going until they get bankrupt. Now, granted, if they're lying to their accountant, they're risking jail time like this guy here, but I'm just saying you're never quite sure of what you're dealing with. Through these misrepresentations and omissions, a DOJ news release states Sine and his co-conspirators raised over $100 million from investors, which they used in part to pay out the existing investors' promised returns. The DOJ says the scheme was ongoing all the way up to his arrest week. So as you can see here, Royal Bengal Logistics has 166 trucks and 91 drivers and is actually still authorized for property right now, all according to the FMCSA. So Singh was indicted by a grand jury on June 14th, and he was then released by U.S. Marshals on a $1 million bond. And if convicted, he could face up to 150 years in prison. So boom, use the stolen money to pay the bond. So here's what the DOJ has to say. Mostly the same stuff, but it also says here, the indictment also alleges that Sine misappropriated millions of investor funds to renovate his home, make mortgage payments, pay for personal expenses, and trade stocks on margin. So my question after reading all this was like, how the hell did somebody get $100 million of investor money for a trucking company? It's hard enough to get a loan from the bank, but how do you get people to commit that much to a trucking company? So let's go to their website and see if we should become potential investors. So here on the website now, it has their company information, and one of the first things it has is the Investor Connect. Also down here, they have typical trucking stuff on their website. Most people say this stuff. Services, we got some stock photos. Operate in 48 states with 250 drivers and employees. Some questionable reviews from drivers, and a confusing photo gallery of stock photos. So now we're super excited to invest, so we are now going to go to the Royal Investor Connect. And on here, what we have is actually videos going over what their investment opportunity is. So let's see what they had to offer.
Welcome to Royal Bengal. I'm Lane Dorvalier with Royal Bengal Logistics. I'm a Director of Business Development here. Today I'm going to walk you through some of our different investment options as well as our equipment management investment program or our trucking investment program. So what I have here for you is our investor plan, which does have all of our different levels of investment that are currently available. It does have our equipment management program, which is our most popular program. It is also known as our truck investment program. It is a $45,000 investment with a 60-month contract and a 58-month return period.
Okay, so this is pretty insane. So basically they're asking you for a $45,000 payment in exchange for 58 months at a $2,750 return. They're basically convincing the public to buy trucks and then they're leasing the trucks from them rather than leasing from a lease company.
Returns on that investment do start 2 months after you sign a contract with us, and that is a guaranteed monthly return of $2,750 per month for the entirety of that 58 months. Once those payments start, they do not stop. They will continue for the entire length of your contract, and that does go into a business bank account. We also have here our 2-truck program, which you can get approved for. We do have an 8-question approval process that we can then preview and see if we can get you approved for our 2-truck investment. That just doubles. It is a $90,000 investment with your guaranteed monthly return being $5,500 per month. Again, that starts 2 months after you sign a contract with us. We do go through a loan process during our truck investment program to get you approved for a loan so we can purchase these vehicles. Used trucks right now are running about $90,000, so we do have to secure loans to buy these vehicles, but we'll go through a little more in detail what that loan process means when we get to our equipment management contract.
So they're getting the public to take the loans on this. So basically you apply to be an investor and then they link you with a bank, you get a loan, and then with that money that you have had loaned to you now invest it into RBL.
Options that are available, we do have a short-term investment program, which is usually at a 22 to 24% return, but right now we are running it at a special rate, which I will pull up for you here. It is a 28% return on the short-term investments right now. Our most common is a $25,000, but that will be closing shortly. We will be...
Yeah, these returns are insane. I mean, to offer this, I think should be a red flag, but anyone who's run a trucking company, I don't know if you're listening to this and you've ran a trucking company before, this would be extremely difficult running a trucking company and returning these kind of investments.
Having our $50,000 and $100,000 contracts available until December of 2022 at this 28% return. These are 6-month contracts that are paid out in full at the end of the term. These are not paid monthly like our truck contract. For the $50,000, 6 months, 28%, you're going to get a guaranteed $14,000 in interest for a total of $64,000 at the end of your payout. That can be paid out into a business account or into a personal. That's completely up to you. Additionally, we do have our $100,000, which is 28% is $28,000 at the end, for a total payout of $128,000. Again, these programs are limited time. This is our 28%. Typically, these are at a 22% return, with our lower levels being at a 24% return. We also have our new trailer sponsorship program. So unlike the equipment management program, there is no physical asset with this. It is a sponsorship program for Royal Bengal to build and then resell a trailer. So it is a $45,000 investment for 6 months. At the end of the 6 months, you're going to get an additional income of $15,000. That is a 33.33% return on that initial investment. When we do go ahead and build that trailer, we work with our partner engineering company. We get those trailers built and then we resell them and give you the return from the sale of that trailer. Regardless of if we're able to sell the trailer or not, you are going to get your payout at the end of those 6 months. So this is a new opportunity that we are running. This is currently to be run through a business account, just like our trucking program.
So a trucking company that's been running for 3 years has supposedly figured out how to build their own trailers and make a 33% margin on them. And the only way they can float the money is with customer investments.
You do have to have a business established to participate in this program. If you don't have a business established, we can definitely help you set one up if you need assistance. Our final page here does have my contact information. It does have my email address, which is the best way to reach me. It also has my office extension, which is available.
Okay, so for the rest of the video here, she basically just goes over the contract language of becoming an investor. You know, to me, this seems extremely clear that this was a Ponzi scheme. I mean, the returns are crazy. I mean, 6-month returns at 28% is just not what you're going to get in trucking. I mean, even if you're a broker, like the best margins you're going to do are probably like 20, 30%, not 28% returns over a 6-month period. I'm just shocked that they got $100 million of investment. I actually don't know how they reached out to their investors, because I think that anyone who was a seasoned investor would actually see that this was kind of like anyone who could learn about trucking, or like a serious investor would go to a different trucking company, say, hey, does this seem legit? And they would say no. But I understand too, because I think that a lot of times you think, oh, invest in a truck, you can make $1,000 a day and it only costs $200,000. But it does not work that way. There's tons of expenses. And this clearly is structured, okay, give us $45K, $90K up front, and we'll give you a crazy 400% return over 4 years, or a 28% return over 6 months. Also, if it was $100 million and they only have 166 trucks, that would mean that they were basically taking tons of investment, not getting the trucks, only having 166, because that would really only add up to like 30 million worth of trucks, 40 million worth of trucks. So what they did was they probably got these investments, took all the money up front, lied about the truck that it was assigned to, and then went about their day. Just absolutely crazy. So I've seen a lot of Instagram ads out there for like investing in a truck and then we'll dispatch it for you. Please do not do this. This is you lining up to get totally scammed. Do not waste your hard-earned money to help out someone else, a bigger company, get enough money to get a truck. If they're a successful company, they can get a loan from a bank and get their own truck. They do not need your help. The chances are they're not successful. They want to pass the liability to you, and then you get left with the bag, essentially, right? So you can take my advice, do not invest in these companies, or, if you want, you could still go to royalbengallogistics.com and invest. But until then, until what you decide, thank you so much for listening. Like and subscribe. Let me know if you have a differing opinion, and if there's anyone else out there, any other companies that haven't been exposed, I would love to go through and maybe try to expose them. So until next time, and thank you for listening.